Hi there, folks. It's Mandy again. We haven't filmed in a while. I think you could probably guess why. My voice is still not back, but we did catch the flu over right after Christmas break, or right after Christmas, so like the 28th. My voice is just now sort of coming back, and while I'm recuperating, I am going to can some cranberry juice. So come along with me while I do that. These are the cranberries. And I just read that you don't actually have to boil them first, so oops. Already did that. And then I'm going to get my jars, which are warm. I warmed them in the oven, which they say don't do. But I did it anyway. My grandma's been doing canning probably since the 1940s, and this is how she does it. And this is how she taught me. So I heat them up in the oven. I haven't broken any. Nobody's died. So I'm going to pull those out and put them on my counter. I pulled a few of the jars out, and I'm going to add a half a cup of sugar, or in this case, sucanat, cane sugar, to each jar. So I'm going to do that. And then after that, I'm going to add my cranberries. So let me go ahead and get the sugar in all these jars. The instructions say to add an entire cup of raw berries. Now these have been cooked down some, so I'm just going to add a little over half a cup, I think, to each one of these jars. So I'll do that next. All right, now I have all of the sugar and cranberries in the jars. Now the recipe said it would make 7 quarts, but I don't feel like it really would. Maybe my bags had less berries in them. I'm going to take this juice. I'm going to distribute it evenly amongst these 5 quarts. Now, as you can see, I did not have enough to finish these last 3 jars. So I have boiling hot water from my electric kettle. I'm just going to top them off to 1 inch of headspace. So there we go. And then one more. All right, the next step is going to be, we're going to wipe the lids off with a little bit of vinegar on a rag to make sure we get all of the, any potential grease off of there so that the lids can adhere. Adhere isn't the right word, but you know, seal, that's the right word. So we're going to do that next. I'm going to take my previously simmered lids. I know they say you don't have to do that anymore, but if it's good enough for my mom, it's good enough for me. So I still do it. I don't know if that helps or makes things worse now. But then we're going to put those on. Like I said, we used a little bit of vinegar on a paper towel. And went around the rims to make sure that we did not have any grease around the glass rims, because that'll prevent it from sealing properly. And then I'm going to put rings on these over tops of these lids to hold them down. Finger tight and do not torque them down because we need some of that air to escape. I think that's why you don't do it anyway, because my mom says so, okay? What I have here is a pot with water. Because it's not pressure canning, I don't need to use my pressure canner. And that sucker is heavy, so I don't try to use that for water bath canning on my electric glass top, because that's a good way to bust it. If you see there, it has one, it has the, I don't know what that thing is called. The thing that keeps the jars from the jar, I don't know. Anyway, whatever that is called. You can tell me in the comments. I'm having a brain malfunction. So anyway, you take your jar, which should be warm, into your hot water. Remember, if you put a cold jar in a hot water bath, it will break. Just be aware. That's, I guess, why they tell you not to heat the jars in the oven. But I put them in while it's cold, and this is how my grandmother told me to do it, and I've never had a glass break in there yet. Now, because our jars are not covered, we're going to add more hot water to this. Because you want those lids need to be covered by at least 1 inch of water. And that should do it. And now we're going to turn that up and wait for that to come to a boil. A rolling boil, not just a couple of little bubbly bubbles. While we're waiting for our jars to boil, I'm going to stir supper. This is leftovers that I'm just reheating in the crock pot. I made a turkey stew with leftover turkey from our Christmas dinner, which we made on the 28th, Saturday. And so it's turkey broth made from the carcass, turkeys, potatoes, leftover corn, and then I added some leftover mashed potatoes to thicken it. And then I also made some potato rolls with all the rest of the leftover mashed potatoes. Also put the leftover gravy in there, so it's pretty thick. It's really good. Everybody liked it, and we're going to reheat it that way, so dinner's simple tonight. We kind of had to take a different tact, that's what I'm saying, because the crock pot was not going fast enough. So I just received a message from Matt saying that Hay and Bear were returning from the game store, so I have this perking away now on the stove instead of in the crock pot. And our jars are starting to boil, so I'm going to let that go for a few more minutes, and then we're going to start the 15-minute timer. So here we are. They've been taken out, and they'll sit overnight. You'll hear them ping as they seal, and that's about it. This kind of thing is of interest to you, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Remember, do what you can with what you got.